All right, we should be live. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Active Reload, episode number 4. Tonight we have Immortal Spawn, Fatal Strike, Arctic, and as many of you guys remember from the Guy One Days, Venom, he wanted to hop in and give in his 2 cents. Tonight we're going to be starting off talking about Execution because that dropped last Friday, I believe, along with Haven, and we're just going to talk about whether or not it works, how does it work, even if it does. So if anybody wants to kick that off, feel free.
I guess I'll go first. On pretty much execution right now, the big deal and the biggest problem is that the maps are designed for FFA. So there's different times on different sides to get to a certain power weapon, which calls imbalances right off the get-go in the game. It's not like previous Gear games when we had maps designed for execution. So as of right now, from all the testing I've been doing, the only execution maps that have a potential of working that need swaps are Haven and Streets. Everything else right now is a no-go and extremely hard to make work in regards of competitive. And this is, in my opinion, probably the worst out of everything that's been playing in regards to execution over the course of the 3 games. It just doesn't feel like what execution used to feel like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I agree with you, Joe. It's kind of like I'm almost at the point where I don't even want to force it, and it's kind of hard because we're so used to execution, but like right now with the maps that we have, like it's actually not working to me anyway. I much rather would be playing domination, and I would love like another objective game type along with it. That would be the ideal. Forcing execution, although we're used to it, it's been there forever. This game wasn't meant for it. We can all agree with that, and it's really tough to try and get it, fair.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with the map layouts now, execution doesn't really fit. For it to work, swaps have to be made for Streets and Haven, even if those maps are used. And I mean, I think we talked about map design in one of the past episodes, and looking at the maps, they're kind of all designed for free for all or respawn objective like game types. So throwing execution in, obviously everybody loves execution, but these maps, they're not made for execution, and it sucks. It really does.
I mean, I basically agree with the rest of you guys. Execution, we love it, it's what we started off on, but I mean, it can get, quite campy at times. Just a map design, they're not made for execution. So,
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the fence with the way the maps are made. The problem with execution to me is that you can just run around forever.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to trap people in a corner. These maps aren't, symmetrical in the sense that if it's a 2v1 situation on Streets, this guy can go for a minute easy. So
Yeah.
that's my issue with it. But
Yeah,
I mean, even if
I-
a team can, sorry about that, a team can
Go ahead.
definitely, they could lock themselves, up in a room, camp that for the life of them. And, in the 7 game series, that'll last forever. And that's not what people, would like to see.
The thing is, if we're going to make the game, I mean, obviously it's extremely hard to make the game competitive right now, but if we're going to make it competitive, the point it comes down to with execution is that swaps are needed. There's no way that we can roll out default because as much as we want to, the maps are designed for free for all. The weapon designs and the power weapon placement is definitely questionable on quite a few maps. I mean, look at a map like Haven. One team spawns with a Bushka, other team spawns with a torque bow. It's going to be extremely hard to call that an even fight coming right out of the gate. There's a strong side to a weak side right off the bat. So teams and hosts, whoever has host and picks what maps they have in a tournament, seeding comes down to a huge factor because it's not like it used to be in the past. We're not just fighting for host now. Now teams are fighting for control of power weapons and having a significant advantage right off the get-go. And on top of it, maps aren't symmetrical, like you guys stated, and people can run for days because they're designed for 5v5 and they're designed specifically for free-for-all. They're not designed for execution. They're not symmetrical. So this is the biggest issue that we have right now.
I think I'm not anti. You guys know I'm not anti-execution, but I think from the get-go, like I didn't expect execution to work based off of
Right.
playing the maps beforehand. I just in my mind, it wasn't going to play out, despite the uproar, no down but not out, all that stuff. Like they're trying to force an archaic. I won't say it's archaic and like it's outdated. Just that it's in previous titles and shouldn't have been in Judgment. execution just doesn't work in the same regard. Now, there was actually one suggestion that he's actually in the stream right now. He's screaming at Wingman weapon spawns. If you guys remember on Wingman, the weapons do not spawn in for like 30 seconds. So, you talk about sides advantage and stuff like that. If you change around the weapon swaps a little bit and set them in some different spots, technically with that type of system, you could make it so that it was a little bit more balanced for execution in the sense that, okay, you're now fighting for position instead of, okay, one team gets this, the other team gets this. You make it so that, okay, the weapons don't spawn in for 30 seconds. What strat do I need to run in order to secure this power weapon when it pops up? That was actually probably the best suggestion I've ever seen for execution. And again, Hoovers is in there right now, so you guys can thank him for that. He dropped that on one of my videos. I think it was on Frag Logic. And that was an excellent idea for what Epic can do to try to address, at least this would be something that would be obviously in a title update, something that might fix execution, other than just saying, all right, we just need to fix the weapon swaps because one team is going to spawn with an advantage and one team is going to spawn with a different advantage. And I think a couple weeks ago, maybe on episode 1, or it could have been Frag Logic, some of these kind of run together for me. Exactly what you said, Immortal, and I've only played a couple games of execution because I can't stand it on this game, is that if you get in a situation where you're up 2 versus 1 or 3 versus 2, like, it takes a really long time to pin someone down because you take a map like Gondola, for example, you could be up top and then they drop down 4 stories, then you chase them somewhere, then they drop back, then they run around back up top, and it's like you can't pin someone like you could on the old games. So, when you think about that, it becomes more of an issue of, is time going to be a factor when you try to do these matches? I think that there always is going to be a winner, but if you guys remember back in 2009 with the Hammer Burst, we had 2-3 hour. Kenny was a part of this 2-3 hour matches.
Yay.
Because of the Hammer Burst.
And Immortal, I believe.
And Immortal, yeah. I mean, and that's not to say either of those
Well, they
teams.
scheduled our
Everybody
game
wants
at
to win.
12,
Everybody wants to
1
win.
a.m., but yeah.
So, everybody wants to win, and you're not going to see people making dumbass mistakes, especially the top tier teams. In a sense, when it's a 2v1, they're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to sit right here. They're going to run for their life to make it go to the next round. So that's a big time factor in whether or not execution is viable long term. I personally, and I'm going to keep saying this until it happens, there's 2 new game types. I honestly think that the competitive community, you can do what you want, and obviously I'm a part of that, but we can do what we want in terms of, okay, we can go with execution for a while, but everybody knows that it doesn't work with this game, and I'm hoping that Epic has made 2 new game types that are specifically for Gears of War Judgment and not some Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3 port that works with Judgment, and therefore we can adopt those. And, there's a whole bunch of other issues. Will that work on LAN? All the other stuff that goes with that. But I would rather just say, hey, whenever these new updates come out, we get some new game types, let's try those. And then I'm going to go into, with the new game types, I have a little caveat there that kind of bothers me, and I'm gonna let everybody kind of talk about this stuff before I get into my long ass rant on Gears Judgment right now. But that's kind of how I feel about execution.
Okay.
In regards to execution, I mean, pretty much the way I feel about it, as of right now, we only have 2 maps that are workable, and we need them to make a 6-map cycle work. As of right now, we got 3 DOMs that all play out pretty well with slight swaps. In my opinion, that's Library, Haven, and Streets. In regards to the other 2 maps, Rig and Gondola, they just don't play out very well. A lot of people support Gondola, Dom. I feel like that's a last resort kind of map from all the testing I've been doing so far. In regards to everything else, I mean, we've only got 2 EXEs that work. Library is way too uneven off the get. Rig doesn't work, and Gondola is just a complete mess on execution, a mess. So all we have to work with in execution as of right now, because of our limited resources, because of the limited content we received with buying the game, we've got two game types for, 2 maps for execution, and that's Haven and Streets. And then other than that, we can mess around and maybe try to make a TDM map work for now, at least for our V1 settings, until we get these new maps and new game types, which I pray we get a bomb game type because I just feel like that's really needed right now.
Yeah, we really need new game types right now. The execution doesn't work. We have to kind of force it to work. So it's not what we wanted and what we're used to. Just because of how different the game is and how different the maps are, and making it almost impossible to pin a guy. I mean, like you guys already said, in a 1v1 or something, the dude could just run away forever. Forever.
Yep.
Well, I feel
actually
like
think-
execution. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I feel like
No, go for it.
execution it can work. I mean, but just the direction the game is going, no. I mean, it all comes down to basically what type of maps we get. If we get maps that are large with all types of layers that people can jump down and run around, it's obviously not going to work because it's going to be very time consuming. I mean, like you guys said, for now it looks like a team deathmatch domination game. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but I don't know. It's just hope and pray for the new maps to actually be good and symmetrical.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you just can't take ASIM maps and make it work in execution one life. It just doesn't make sense, especially with the free falling. You can go anywhere type of design that they've approach they've taken. It's just me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the right swaps, Haven has actually played out pretty nice. So in my couple days of scrimming, NJ Halo settings, it's probably the best execution that I've played, and it really comes down to the spawns themselves. Like you actually spawn, the team spawn in a pretty fair location, and with the right swaps, it's nice. It's got a lot of strategies to develop, and I can get more into that later. But
I have a
yeah.
question for you guys because I'm not playing a competitive sense right now. For swaps where there's like I think Fatal said on Haven, for example, and I played that. It's Torque and Bushka on one side. If we went back to like the old long shot, like in terms of that type of okay, you get a power weapon, but it's going to be a sniper. Does that seem more fair on some of the maps where it's equidistant?
Right.
You're
And in the
equidistant
NJ
between
settings,
two
there's an
different
ink. There's an ink in both of those locations.
No,
Okay.
actually, what Arctic said, it was something I actually wanted to suggest because I was thinking, that'd be more of like a Halo, old school Gears of War type thing with, two snipers at the end and just have them fight for, a torque bow in the middle or whatnot. Probably, maybe I'm not a fan of them, but an ink, at the other side where you could drop down. I think something like that would definitely be good for that map.
That map, Haven, pretty much in regards to spawns, you've got what? You've got a breach shot in the left side of the map on red cog spawn. In the middle of the map, you have a digger on the
Digger.
bottom level. There's 2 levels inside Temple. We have a boom shield area, very similar to like up top War Machine. That could be a 1v1 spot. So by simply putting a weapon over there, we can create incentive to spread the map. So that works. The only big problem right now is in regards to 2 things. One, what are we going to do with the Lancer? Because it's extremely, like, NJ Halo's trying to solve this problem by doing 2 Lancers and 2 shotguns. I mean, in regards to what Haifa Station and the other leagues are going to do, in regards of setting the standard, it's pretty hard to decide what you can do. You can put snipers there, or because the Lancer's so damn powerful right now, do we run all Nashers and you put a Lancer on each side, and then your support player can go grab his Lancer, and then that way it's not too crazy? Because the Lancer, in my opinion, is a power weapon right now.
Well, the thing
And-
is,
Go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You can say it first.
No.
Go ahead.
What the thing is, especially since this game is played largely online, even before the lands, there's no way to really, ref if there's, 3 people using a Lancer, 1 person using a Lancer. That's really, an issue. That just all really falls on, our communication with Epic to see, what it is we can do with the Lancer because, again, the Lancer's ridiculous. Is
Yeah. If the weapons stay, and I don't know that they would, but if the weapons remained at the power level they are, I think the best bet is to load out Nasher only and have a Lancer on the map. To be honest.
I agree.
I 100% agree with you. As
that's
of
a
right
beautiful
now,
thought.
now here's the thing that
And I didn't come up with that. Like I've heard people talking about it, and it's a good suggestion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. In regards to what one of the people said in the chat, Quinn said he's speaking about that as of right now. The numbers, because we're in a Gears 2 dilemma now, the numbers that are adjusted for the weapon properties in regards of damage, those as of right now aren't carrying over to land. They're not LAN updates. Everything we've been
Exactly.
given so
Yeah.
far is a server update. So right now, already out of the box, we are in the huge dilemma that we had, and the reason why I didn't play Gears of War 2 is because right now we are going to be playing a different game online that we're going to be playing on LAN.
Games.
And this is horrible. This has to be fixed.
Yeah,
Like,
and this spills into the next topic. This is what I was waiting to get a chance to start off and say. Epic releases this silent update, apparently sometime last week, right? Their famous server-side updates where they make changes, it only applies to online, and they don't announce it, which makes it even better because we don't even know what happened. So they do this across the board, according to Skyless, and I saw the numbers myself. All the rifles went up 25 fucking percent. 25. That is obscene. Like, you
That's
can't
important.
do that. You can't just do that and and just not tell us on top of it. I mean, they're claiming it was announced, okay? They're claiming it was announced. I saw nothing. I looked at the Twitters and Facebooks. I didn't see a damn thing. And that just pisses me off because we're not magicians. We can't make the game look good and play good if you do that to us. We can't. I'm sorry. We can't pull it off. And I got pissed just knowing it when Skyless showed me this stuff. Because on top of that, we're now practicing a game that is completely different from LAN. Not even close. You start practicing, I hear teams running around in fours of nothing but Lancers. So what's going to happen come LAN? They're ready already if we allow all Lancers, right? They're all ready for that. They go to the LAN, all of a sudden the Lancers back to normal where it's balanced, and they're just getting slapped. Like,
We had
you
this
can't.
Gears of War 2. We also had this problem at Hype 2. Hype 2, remember? The incense were crazy overpowered, and that's what everyone was practicing on. We got to the event, and it was all the old settings when the incense were completely weak. I'm sure anyone who competed at that event, Rob, you competed, KL, even you competed, I competed. Like, that was a huge problem during the event. I mean, as of right now, I say we go Nasher for start-offs. We use Lancers as pickups on points of the map to even out certain things. For example, streets. Like, instead of having Bushka spawn at Bushka, you can maybe have Bushka spawn up top where Hammer is, and then have a Lancer over in the Bushka house and another Lancer, over somewhere else, and then a power weapon down low to fight over to spread the map, or maybe a boom shield. But we basically have to rearrange the way these maps are done in regards of weapon placements and power weapon placements because they're not designed for competitive 4v4 play. So we don't have a choice. Obviously, we want to sit here and we want to support Epic the best we can, and we want to keep their game as default as possible. But as of right now, there's no way we could do that when it's designed for free-for-all, not for what we're trying to use it for.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, you can't do anything with these maps right now. We need swaps. And we need swaps that will apply to LAN. We need a title update, and we need it now. I know how title updates work. You got to go through Microsoft. You got to submit it. They got to review it, make sure it's good, and then it finally gets applied to whatever date. I don't even know how long that process is, but it's a pain and it costs money. I know that, but
It costs a decent chunk of change.
yeah, if you want to
Decent
breathe a
chunk of
little
change.
bit of life into this game, listen to us, please, and make this title update happen. Otherwise, we can't pull it off. We can't. We need the help. It has to go hand in hand right now.
Oh, definitely. I felt like Epic was definitely on point from the launch of the game. I mean, first thing you hear about me ranting and raving about is, this is the closest thing, I had to Gears 1. You guys know I'm crazy stupid about Gears of War 1. I thought the Lancers were honestly perfect. The Lancers called for a lot of team fire, which is something that I was waiting for the longest. Ever since the update, it's a Gears of
One-man
War
army.
3. Right, it's a Gears of War 3 Lancer now, just without the stopping power, but it's, on steroids. Like, I feel like when I'm getting Lancer, I have, all of the insane shooting at me at once. It's crazy. One thing Epic does need to realize, I mean, even though we are the competitive community, and I hate when people say it, but, we're a small percentage. I mean, you got to kind of look at it. It is, a lot of good advertising and stuff, too, for, your game and your company. I mean, we're putting a lot out there for you guys as well. I mean, it would definitely benefit the both of us if we worked hand in hand and, tweak just some of the smaller issues that even your casual players talk about.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard that the reason for the update was from the first week of results, the statistics showed Melee had the most kills.
No,
and more than
No surprise.
Well,
More
not
than-
melee.
double.
Kidding me?
More than double of all the rifle kills, or all the weapon kills except for the Nasher. That's how many melee kills there were.
Yeah.
So melee and Nasher were up there, and all the other rifles were lower. So I think the objective was, all right, let's just see. We buff these weapons. If those numbers change, trying to get a balance, trying to get a little bit more, evenness across the board with all those guns. But is it because those guns aren't as good, or people just prefer the Nasher?
That's exactly
To
what
be
it is.
honest, yeah. I mean, I think it is like the Nasher is fun. Like killing someone with a shotgun and Gears is like one of the most exciting things in life, aside from like food and sex. I mean, it's like amazing. And I know like that sounds pretty savage, but I mean, I think men and females will agree with that.
No,
But seriously, like people use the Nasher because it's fun, like, and you're excited and it's that adrenaline rush and you get that kill, and it doesn't mean that those other guns aren't great or aren't putting up points and stuff. It's just that it's just a satisfying thing, And
Yeah.
that's why we play Gears.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't understand why they were so shocked when they saw the numbers. What was it, like 85% of kills were Nasher?
I think 80.
Yeah, it was around there.
60,
yeah.
60 or 80. I don't know.
I don't know.
It
was up
60%
there.
of the kills, 80% of the players. I don't know. Something
Yeah,
like that.
it was like a pretty, like, it was all Nasher
significant.
basically. But they're not taking into account two things. One, they strong-handed us and made us say, do we want a Nasher or a rifle?
or rifle.
Any veteran gal player is going to be like, easy decision, I'm using a Nasher. Screw it. I got a pistol,
only-
It's a
Not only
pistol,
that,
still
but
good.
Look at the movement system we have right now. Basically, we have a shotgun that operates somewhat similar to Gal 1. You have some Gal 1 shots brought back in, certain types of pullback shots that you could do back in that game that you have now. And then now, all of a sudden, we have a really good movement system along with that, except for one of the up A glitches, is working pretty damn well. So you're giving that in the hands of players with a decent shotgun. People are going to run around with a shotgun and have a good time. The
Yeah.
reason why people play Gears of War over Halo, Call of Duty, any other game is the satisfaction you get from shotgun gameplay that's entertaining and the clutch factor, which are awesome. That's the reason why I played. I sucked when I first started playing the game, but I had fun playing it because of that reason. So in regard to what's going on now, in regards to all the statistics and everything, Epic statistics are completely and absolutely inaccurate.
They are.
And the reason why they're inaccurate is because they're based off of the fact over how you get the final kill. What happens if I down someone with my Lancer and I go to clean up the kill and I melee the kill?
It's not just
and then
that,
Shield,
yeah.
or I go out and I go and shoot him with a shotgun on the floor. That's what I just got the kill with. It's not going to show that I killed him with the Lancer in an execution game type.
that was
That's
Gears.
what-
Yeah. The other thing
No,
they
yes,
didn't
yes.
take into account was the melee. The melee made life so easy. You had a shotgun, which is already great. It's the
And
most
it's
balanced
fun.
it's ever been. So all kids are doing with this fabulous quick movement, bounce, 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 melee, shoot. So they're not taking into account how many kills were led from a Nasher with a melee prior to that. They didn't
Yeah.
think about that. They were just like, oh my god, so many Nasher kills. Better buff the crap out of the rifles.
I think people just load out with the Nashers more anyway.
they do. It's
I mean,
fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
what makes Gears of War, honestly. And I'm really glad with that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I got to get into this.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
do you?
I already had my
So
rant. Go
first-
for it.
So yeah, Kenny started off and I was going to get in, but I wanted everybody to just have their little piece before I just go to town right now. So the first thing Kenny mentioned was patch notes, we said Ninja update, and when Skyless made that video, him and Pete kind of tweeted back and forth, and Pete said that we made out these callouts, we talked about it on stream, and he said he was tweeting about it himself. And so I was actually on vacation, came back. That's why I missed last week's show. And so, I went back and I read Pete's timeline back 3 days from the time that he was, but that's 3 days when he said something about he was going to Dave Nash to talk about statistics and player complaints. I went back 3 days, and that's the last thing I saw. Then I scrolled up and I spent about 10 minutes looking at all of his tweets, and I didn't see anything about rifle buffs. I saw some stuff about melee. I saw some stuff about stim grenades. That's all I saw. And I could be wrong, but that's what I saw. And then someone else that watched their live stream said that he watched the entire live stream and he didn't catch anything about a rifle buff. And that's someone that watched it from start to finish. Again, So it wasn't prominent, and this is what Skyla said last night, it wasn't prominent that they were doing this, okay? Epic has been in, and this is the point I made last night for you guys that watched Frag Logic. Epic has been in the gaming industry for 20 years.
Ooh.
20 years, okay? I've been playing Epic Games, video games, since 1999, all right? Epic has been doing this for 20 years. You're telling me that they don't know that they need to release patch notes with their games? I even wrote down some of, and I consider Epic to be a AAA studio, AAA in terms of revenue, AAA studio. Bungie releases title updates with patch notes. Infinity Ward releases updates with patch notes. Treyarch issues title updates with patch notes. Blizzard, Valve, Riot, BioWare, Zombie, Hi-Rez, Red 5. I can keep going. Right now. Like I can almost, I'd say 90 to 95% of the game studios, when they release patch note or an update, they release patch notes to go along with it. And then they explain why. There's a dialogue between the community to say, hey, okay, we know you guys are probably going to be pissed. We don't really give a fuck. It's our game. I'm fine if you say that. But here are the patch notes. They don't do it via Twitter. They say on their official site, hey, we just released a game update on. You'll see that on Halo's or Bungie's official Twitter, or 343's official Twitter, or Blizzard's official Twitter. Here are the link to the patch notes. Go read there. Then everyone logs into the game. They're like, huh, yeah, this, I can kind of see why they did this. I can kind of see why they did that. They don't let the community find out and then create more negativity around the game and have people like, oh fuck, man, they don't even listen to us, man. I'm not gonna play this shit. And then only after the fact that we make a stink about them not having patch notes, Jim Brown posts a half-ass. He posted, I give him that, give him credit. He posts a half-ass title update, says what we're doing. And then there's like a couple things he doesn't even address all the changes that they made. I'm like, okay, you tried to make up for it, that's fine. But come on now, there has to be some type of industry standard. Are they not looking at what other people do? Is it, are patch notes, am I crazy? Are patch notes not an industry standard at this point? I don't understand that. That's a whole thing that got me so upset about it. I don't really care about the rifle changes. And for the people that think that the guys in this chat or the competitive guys are all Nasher players, or we only like the Nasher, yeah, it's really exhilarating, but have you seen competitive matches? They're 90, probably 85, 90% rifle gameplay.
Yep.
Not only that, but those players are typically the best in the game at any weapon they choose. So you throw them into the mix, and then you have stalemate games, especially if they're playing two competitive ranked teams are playing each other with rifles. That game moves slow as hell. If they're pub stomping, they're wiping the floor with people. Like, you can't move. It's the same thing that happened in Gears of War 3. And this is where I'm kind of going with this. The design choices at Epic are really puzzling to me. They say, okay, we're going to design this game, and they pump this from day one. This is going to be fast-paced. This is going to be action-packed. This is going to be intense. This is going to be, you can move around. There's so much mobility. And they moved away from the map design that they saw with Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3. All right? That's very linear, very horizontal. If you see someone, they can't move because of the strength of the rifles. All right? They moved away from that. That was their design decision going forward with Gears Judgment. And then all of a sudden, they say, based off of some statistics, which I feel like, other than Pete and maybe Patty and maybe Flack and Raxzilla, which are two community people. So from a design standpoint, I've seen Patty Jones, who is, I believe, an artist there. Pete, who's a senior programmer. I don't see very many people on Epic Games saying, at least from a programmer standpoint, getting into the game and playing the game and saying, okay, I see what the issues are. I see how this is relevant. I don't see them doing that on a widespread sense. You know who did? And this is what I was talking about before when I was saying people were hating on him. Quinn got into games.
Yep.
He would be in matches nonstop. Him and Pete, they would do that stuff.
That's why I brought that up week one.
But now, I mean, they look at the facts. Are the people that are looking at the facts also in game experiencing the issues? Because the two prominent issues that people brought up were stim grenades, melee, and then trickled throughout. I've seen people say, you know what, I want some more variety with Gears of War. I feel like it's just a Nasher game. that's fine. But like I said, if you are on the higher end scale of skill, I would say that the upper echelon players, doesn't matter what you give them, they're going to dominate the field. If you give them a Lancer and you have a Nasher player coming at you, Immortal, if you have a Nasher player coming at you on free for all with a Hammer Burst, you're dropping everybody. You're winning free for alls with the Hammer Burst. If you had a Lancer, it'd be the same way. I played with the Lancer, Marksa, Hammer Burst, Classic Hammer, all of those pre-update, ripping people apart in ranked by myself, ripping people apart. You give me that same those same weapons with a post patch and Gears Judgment now, it's even worse. So it's not that the balance was off. It's not that people don't want to pick the rifles. It's just that this is a Nasher game. It's been this way for 7 years. Skyless went on to a post that he made about the balance changes. Went back to 2008. If I could get a graphic and give it to you guys for the chat. 2008. It was like 60% Nasher play on Gears 2. And everything else was down at the bottom, 5-10%. This is, what's that, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. How can you be surprised? How can you be surprised that people are picking the Nasher? That just makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they're not in game. And then the developers that do get in game every once in a while that aren't very good, they're like, man, this rifle, I'm not very good with this rifle. I need to buff it. And I'm not saying that Epic is doing that. I know designers, I know developers, I know programmers that do that. They program the game around their level of skill versus the community's level of skill, and they say, you know what, this doesn't feel right to me. Let me bump this up so I can get a kill with my favorite weapon. Versus taking another approach and saying, let me look at what everyone else is doing. Let me kind of see what they can do with these weapons, and then let me balance according to that. And that's a top-down versus bottom-up approach. So that's all on those, all right? The second thing I want to get into, and this is, I'm going to stop on the balance thing because I've talked about it enough already. The second thing I want to get into is, again, this is design choices with Epic Gears of War 3. When this game was announced, there was 4 game types. Remember, we were all talking about, man, there's only 4 game types? Man, the content, man, they need to bring the content. They need to bring this content. The game drops, we have 2 separate playlists on a community, which seems like is pretty small in comparison to Gears of War 3's launch.
Oh, yeah.
So we got VIP and we got the normal playlist, right? On a small community. And now we get the DLC, and then there's VIP, then there's the normal playlist, and then there's DLC playlist. So you keep segmenting the community. And I thought from a design decision on Gears 3, everyone was like, okay, that's not the way to go. We don't want 26 playlists for a community of 50,000. That doesn't make sense. Yet, in Gears of War Judgment, they're doing the same thing. How are they not learning? Like, I feel like because people are not there, maybe, the design direction is just all over the place like right now. Like, there is no clarity in what Epic is doing right now with Gears of War. And it is very frustrating to me as a longtime fan of Epic. What the fuck are you guys doing with this game? I have no idea where you're going with this. You want a TDM, then you want a TDM DLC. You want to release free content, but you want to make it separate. What? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm blown away. I am completely blown away by the choices that Epic is deciding to do with this game. Like, it is so mind-boggling right now, seeing the wishy-washy direction. Like, I would rather them say, fuck the community, we're going to do what the fuck we want to do, which seems like they're doing what they're doing right now, versus, all right, the community says this, we need to backpedal on this, we need to go back, this decision was wrong, this decision was wrong, no. I would rather them have some couth and say, we're going to do this, fuck you guys, if you don't like it, suck it up or don't play, or just make it how you have the design decision in the first place. If you want to do what the community is saying, go all community. If you want to go the design route and say, this is the picture that we have, this is the big picture for this game, go that route. But doing this back and forth stuff is just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. Like, I'm so upset about it. And then they're going to release 2 new game types in this deal or in these playlists to separate it even further.
Yeah. It's terrible, dude. It's terrible. Like I was going in on this on one of my streams recently, and I was going through the playlist. Right. First off, VIP is another story. I don't even know why it's there. If you're gonna give people double XP for doing something, do it in general. Don't make a separate playlist that then has a quick and a rank too. It's like, wow, why are there all these things? So you even look at quick match versus ranked. Say you have free for all, you'll have like 7,000 people quick match free for all. You go ranked 50. What? What?
Yeah, what's the incentive?
When has that ever
you can
happened?
level up in
Nobody
quick match,
on.
so there's what's the point of playing rank?
You know, and
are-
Hassan said, I'm not going getting invited back to Epic. It's fine. I love all those guys. I'm just brutally honest. Like, that's the reason they wanted me to go out there, is because I will give it to you like it is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it like it is. Like, I would rather them say, and I'm not bad mouthing anyone there. I said I feel like the game is all over the place. Like,
It is.
I'm not saying fuck anyone there. I'm not saying that they can go to hell. There's a difference in feedback from what I'm providing versus what other people say. Fuck Epic, fuck their moms, fuck their dads. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they need some direction. They need some direction. What is going on under the hood at Epic Games? AAA studio, what are they doing with their game? Where is this title going?
I have no idea. It's hard to tell, man. It really is. I feel like right now they should just get rid of ranked as a whole. Just kill it. Just cut it out. Nobody even plays it. There's no incentive. You
well.
hop in ranked. Most of the time, if you're in a party of 5, you get matched up with a bunch of individuals. Yeah, that's fun. They get spanked right off the bat. Then if you go in by yourself, you get matched up with a bunch of individuals against a party of 5. And it's never, there's no incentive to play. You don't really get anything out of it, except it takes longer to get into matches, and you think that just because it's called ranked, it's more
I
competitive.
mean, it has the leaderboard. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's got a leaderboard. Just kill it, cut it,
And no
do what
bots.
COD does. If you're
Just
trying to be
leave.
like COD with some things, do what they do and just kill it and make it one playlist.
Yeah, I'd rather have that. In
I like
regards
leaderboards.
in regards
But-
to everything we're looking at right now, I mean, everyone's just playing quick match instead of playing ranked. Why would I ever play ranked or play VIP when I could earn just as many points when I'm doing everything in quick match? I can kill bots, get the same experience, and I don't have to even play regular people. There's
Yeah, but
no
there are people that just play the game for leaderboards and bragging rights and stuff like
A
that.
quick
so-
match has a leaderboards. They're saying I didn't even pay attention to that. I don't look at leaderboards, so I had no idea.
In terms of matchmaking, the only thing I was going to say, because I'm so tired of trying to get skill-based matchmaking, just make team and solo, and I would be fine. I know it's weird with 5.
Mhm.
Maybe you need to have a minimum of
3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
I guess 3 would be what you need almost.
3 would be best for
Um,
that.
But
Yeah.
just make team and solo, and I feel like that would get rid of 95% of the things that are issues with Gears of War and generally console-based games in general with their matchmaking. It's just like you have these solo guys that don't really know what they're doing. No one is talking anyway. People are in like their own little party chats. So like just make it team and solo. Like if you don't have a party, you're not going to get into team deathmatch.
Yeah.
You need to go to mercenary team deathmatch.
Do you remember what they did in GAL 3 where they released that solo playlist and it was amazing? You couldn't
Oh
be
my
in a party
gosh.
and you got matched up
Yes.
with all the individuals and it was awesome. So you're like, yeah, Judgment's coming out. It's going to have something like that. Nope. Same old shit.
give
It's like-
people something. Give people something to play. If you're a solo queue player, give them a 1v1 playlist with a small dynamic map that's symmetrical, so people could play on it, practice their 1v1 skills if they wanted, ranked, and then give them an FFA playlist. You got 2 solo queues to practice, warm up, and play. And then if you give them another type of solo queue, then whatever. But that's all they really need. In regards of team game types, there's no incentive right now in playing ranked. The rank system is, in my opinion, one of the worst we've ever had. There's no incentive. There's no reason to keep playing. And I don't know what that was. But so that's that. And then in regards to everything else, we were going with weapons and everything else. I feel like this should be taken care of way before the game comes out. Why do we need updates so drastically when the game's already come out? We're getting ninja updates. We don't know what the hell's going on. We're all trying to help the community. How the hell can we freaking help the damn community if the developer who we're trying to help and help improve their game to make it more balanced in regards of execution and everything else, how the fuck are we going to do that when you do shit without even letting us to freaking know about it? I'm going to try so hard.
There's
to
no,
just
yeah,
say
there's
No,
no,
no, no.
communication.
fucking
There's no
not
communication.
mad.
No, you're definitely right. And I feel like, with this being, what, the 4th installment of Gears of War, I would honestly think that they would say, hey, Fatal Strike Arctic, Atmo, anybody, just come down, check out the game. What is your input? Like,
That's what they
other
did.
games
They did
actually
that, though.
deal with
That's
their
what they
top
did.
players.
That's what they did.
Well, I heard
And-
they had you and Predator come out there, but it's just like what I see now is just like
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
like,
the first
this
time
is
ever
a-
they've flown
That was the
people
first time
in
they've ever
to
done that.
do anything
Yeah.
like that.
And that
So
was-
And I don't
awesome.
think anyone there was like the balance of. I would say that there were things that I don't even know if I could talk about the playlist. I'm going to say that I believe that the ink stem thing worked
Yeah.
differently in the version that I play tested
They were
versus what you
different?
guys see. Yes. I think there was even more balance then than there is now. But like I said, I just feel like the design direction and people that it's always funny when people say that I'm raging because I'm really not that mad. It's just like me talking about it
passionate.
maybe in a stern way makes people feel like I'm like going off, but I'm really not. I actually had to listen to myself to see what people were talking about. And I'm like, I don't really sound that bad. But the design direction for Epic is just like I don't get it. I don't. And maybe that's Cliffy's gone. That was Cliff's baby. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe he's not the overarching guy that's saying, hey, well, this is shit. That's not the design goals that we need with this. It needs to be like this, or
Yeah.
it needs to be
One
like
thing-
this.
One thing that I definitely wanted to point out was what you went off on, and I was blown away a little bit. I was like, "Well, Arctic." One thing is, if you have a member from VBI talking about a shotgun, that's when you know something's wrong. Gears of War, it was a certain way when it first came out. People love the in-your-face action, whatnot that you said, and it's like the fact that they're definitely forcing that away from players that actually love the game. I mean, everybody saw how that happened with Halo when they took away the BR and introduced the DMR, which was horrible in Halo Reach. And then, everything has fell apart from there. Stick with what works for the game and, just gradually build up. The reason
Yeah.
why, no, the one thing that really, really, really ticks me off about the Lancer and, the whole weapon imbalance now compared to how it was balanced when the game first came out. The thing that made Gears of War so good from the beginning was, clutching and everything. Shotgun was a big play of that. Now as you have people with the Lancer, the gameplay is just slowed down so much. It's just to the point where it's like, what game am I playing now? This is nothing like the Gears of War I played before. I mean, it's okay to, evolve and, adapt to newer games, but this just isn't it anymore. They need to, work with, what worked in the past. And I don't know. That's just really how I feel about it.
I actually really want to follow up on you on this. All right, so pretty much when you look at all the games, right? Gears 1 and then the other titles before they came out before this title. The game was designed to be very good strategically, to be fun, gory, and it became a great game. It was a beautiful accident with Gal 1. Epic kind of threw the multiplayer together last minute. It was a beautiful accident. The game ended up being awesome. The Lancers and the rifles weren't overpowered. We ran in competitive play Hammerburst and Lancer because we could, and it didn't matter. And the rifles were great. Why? The rifle took about almost 3/4 of your clip without an active with a Lancer to kill someone. It didn't take, like it does now, 1/4 of a clip to kill someone. It is two completely different types of ways of using a support weapon. And with the rifles now, we're trying to have the rifles, instead of being support and using team fire with Lancers to get kills, now we're trying to make everyone a one-man army. Why? Because the game's designed for FFA. So everyone wants to be able to get a kill evenly with all the different types of weapons. It's complete bullshit and deviating from the nostalgia of what Gears of War used to be. I understand, blah, 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 everyone gets shotgun kills. Yeah, that's great. And that's awesome. But that's because that's why people play Gears of War. I don't not use a Lancer or a Hammerburst or a Retro because I feel like they suck. I don't use them because I'm an old school player and I like using my damn shotgun. It's fun as hell. I want to claw it up on people and kill some dudes. That's all I want to do. It's
I don't
fun. I
generally-
enjoy it when I play ranked.
I
And
don't generally use it because I think it's too easy.
yeah, it is.
It's really it becomes
Yeah.
an easier game when you give one of us. And I don't mean to sound like elitist with it. I just mean someone that's practiced the game for a long time, that has a lot of experience under the belt. When you give us a weapon like that and you put us into that environment, especially with people just running around kind of mindlessly, it gets a lot easier.
Who watched did you guys watch that recent Game Battles tournament? That was online. Did you
Watched
watch
some
how
of
the
it,
teams were
yes.
playing in it? Like like just a little quick show of hands, I don't know, whatever. But like you guys saw it, right?
Yeah.
For the most
Yeah.
part. Here's the thing. In regards to the way people were playing, people now, close range, 5 feet away from you, are choosing to use a Lancer over a shotgun because of how quick you can kill someone and because the consistency would constantly be able to shoot your bullets. They run over to you, up around a corner, get their shots in, run away, and just lance you down point blank range. That's not the way the weapon was designed to be used. The weapon was designed to be used to use team fire. And it would take 2 or 3 people with a Lancer to coordinate their attack and make sure that they capitalized on somebody. And it made the game absolutely awesome. Now you could 2-piece with a Lancer also. So if you get close, oh, don't worry. I got a super long range with my melee. I'll just melee you with my Lancer, shoot a couple bullets into you, and your push means absolute jack shit. So it's completely, I'm not going to use that word. It's just completely dumb. It absolutely
It's stupid.
ridiculous. Yeah, stupid. We'll just say that. We'll keep it friendly. But I'm so angry with the way that the weapons are designed. So everyone's a one-man army with no matter what weapon you use. Each weapon has a tactical reason why you use it. Hammerburst, Retro, and Lancer are goddamn support weapons. They're not designed to be the main primary weapon to get a kill right away. Just
I disagree about the Hammerburst, dude.
What?
I'm just saying.
What about the Hammerburst?
Hammerburst is a beast.
It's a beast. Yeah,
The Retro was kind of designed to be a beast.
It was a beast
Close range.
before it was before the update. So I think it was changed like a bullet less or something like that, which is pretty significant for people that use it. But I mean that I personally like the Hammerburst more than the Lancer because it requires just a little bit more on the user end to use it, but. I don't know.
You're saying there's more of a skill gap, and it's not as OP as the Lancer. Is that what you're trying to say?
I just feel like the issue that I had with Lancer on Gears 3 was, in addition to stopping power, I think one of the complaints that a lot of players had, especially the ones that played Gears 2, Gears 3, didn't play Gears 1 with the Lancer, is that they wanted to track players easier, right? And so what stopping power did was lower that gap. It made it easier for you to track players because if they were advancing towards you, they were slowing down. It was easier for you to aim, essentially. And so, once that's gone in Gears Judgment, I felt like those were some of the initial complaints and maybe some of the people at Epic that I said like, hey, maybe they don't play as much. They're like, hey, I can't quite track as well on this particular game. And the reason being is because there's no stopping power. So, buffing up the damage. And I've gotten in some scenarios, like you mentioned, Fatal, where there's a guy really close. And so I happen to have an Asher out, and I'm able to kind of maneuver around him and still get a body on him. But for the most part, I agree with you. Like, just, why aren't you not backing away as I'm advancing on you? That's how I play. That's how I played pre-update. If I had a rifle, I was in positions around the map where if I knew someone was coming, I would create choke points. So if you're going to be coming up a stairway, I'm going to ink this stairway. I'm going to nade this stairway. You're going to run back down. That way I can continue lancering or firing with my rifle in whatever manner I want to. You're not going to get close to me. You're not going to break that plane. I'm going to keep the space open. I'm going to play in areas that make my weapon choice better. And I don't feel like they think about that, and I don't feel like other gamers that make that connection like, oh, well, the Gnasher is the better weapon because of this, or the rifles need a buff because of this. It's like they want to do things outside the realm of that weapon, which is exactly what you said, Fatal. They want to run around and Lancer people up close, or they want to sit in one spot all game and everyone that runs at them in a straight line, they want to be able to shoot them down. They don't want to move in different spots that are facilitating that type of weapon use. They don't want to move or learn different aspects of the game that will help them create, an optimal scenario for their weapon. It's just, I want to use the weapon like this. I'm going to use it all game. I'm going to run around on the map because it's fast-paced, action-oriented, intense gameplay, and they don't really think about the game in other terms, and that's what separates, I think, the mass players from the competitive players is that we're all thinking about, okay, well, I have this, I need to lock down this area, and I need to make sure that no power weapons, like I have a Lancer, I want to make sure that no one grabs a sniper, or I need to make sure that no one grabs a breach shot so that when I'm putting in support fire, I'm not getting headshot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, exactly. We're using weapons, in the way that we're trying to use weapons in the way that they were meant to be intended. And on top of that, in regards to the ways that we're using the weapons, in regards to, like, let's say, the shotgun and the Lancer, and comparing the two, we're going to use a Lancer to support. I'm not going to run around and blind fire my Lancer in ranked just because I can. I'm going to do it in maybe a competitive match because that's the way I'm going to win. It's two completely different scenarios. So in a private match, if I'm scrimming or something like that, then yeah, I'm going to run mostly Lancers. Why? Because it freaking works. It's way better than running a Nasher on most game types. You want to get caught on streets with having no support ammo with 3 different levels and running around the map? Hell no. I'm going to sit there with my whole team. We're going to go Lancers out. And if I already can kill you in a quarter of a clip, what happens when 2 or 3 of us focus you down? Oh, wait, look, boom, peace. See you later. It's that easy to kill people now. And the other thing in regards to the tracking, Arctic, like you were speaking about, people are going to what? They're going to just hold their L trigger and try to track. When you did that in Gal 1, did it work? No. The rate at what the person ran was faster than the rate at which you could track. So you had to hold the L trigger, let go of the L trigger, and hold it again, and trace the Lancer with the person to try to take them out. And you had to do what? You had to goddamn adjust and learn how to play the game and learn how to adapt to the skill gap. And that's why the game was so damn popular, because it was so much freaking fun that, oh shit, like even myself, I sucked at Gears of War when I first started playing. I was horrible. I was probably one of the worst players ever to play the game. Played Insanes in one of my first ranked games ever. Their entire team, by the way, got slammed. Kept playing. Why? Because I liked it. Because I thought it was fun and I thought it was a great time and I wanted to get better. And in regards to everyone else, most people that were in the competitive community, they still did the same thing. So they just wanted to get better and learn and adjust, and they used tracking with L triggering to do that, and that's all that you had to do. And you can do the same damn thing in this game. And if you don't want to track, then up your damn sensitivity. You have 30/30s to play with now, so there's no damn reason to complain at all in regards of tracking or being able to kill people with rifles. And the solution I'm trying to bring up is that the solution when people aren't getting kills with certain weapons isn't to just automatically go and buff them. Epic should be talking to their community, us and everyone else, and I'm not saying it has to be us, but they need to be in coordination with us so that when we push for something, we push for it together and we make sure that the community is actually happy when things come out instead of stupid goddamn ninja updates that just piss people off, have no direction or reason for why they do things. I feel like so many things in this game, I'm just laughing at you right now, Kenny. I feel like so many things in this game are just thrown in to be fucking thrown in and not thrown in because of reason and why people, and why, people are actually suggesting it. They're just throwing it randomly. And that is what just gets me so pissed off right now.
Yeah.
No.
All this hard work we're putting in and we're getting, the game's not going to where we want it to go right now because we're held back by our own goddamn developers who aren't working with us. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, there's no communication between us and Epic, really, and it sucks, because if you look at any other big
Would you say
community...
there's no community, or would you say that?
Okay, I
there's
wouldn't
limited?
say... Yeah, I wouldn't say no. Okay, I don't really mean, like, no communication. It's very low. It's they talk to us every night, and it's really only Pete and
Pete,
Rack, really,
Pete,
and
Rack, Flat.
and Flack, yeah, and Flack. But
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, setting-wise, it's really just Pete. Like, we don't talk to anybody else at Epic. And it's
No,
kind of...
but
It's limited. It's really limited, because it's kind of like, hey, Pete, you should do this. And I don't even know if Pete calls the shots with that. So...
There's no way. Well,
I,
who do we
I,
have
I
to-
have no idea. Didn't I say that week 1? I said I don't know who we need to talk to anymore. And
Yeah,
I was
that's why I brought
that's what
that
I was
up.
saying. Why Quinn's defense? I was like, who do we talk to now? Like, who's going into the design meetings and saying, all right, these are some issues and these are some possible things we can work on, or these are some possible things. I think Pete might be doing that, but I honestly I don't know who it is, and I don't think it's Rack. I mean, maybe he's the guy. I don't know who it is. I really don't know.
Who do we have that we can reach out to as of right now? We have Pete, who's freaking awesome, by the way. I love the guy. He was one of the nicest people I ever met, and he's always, great at PAX and everything else. We have Rackzilla, who's a community manager, is trying to make sure that everything in the community is great, doing what he needs to do on the forums and everything else. But both of these guys are awesome. The entire time I was at PAX, they wanted to hear my constructive criticism. Pete even talked about for 2 minutes in his GameSpot interview the entire time how much me and him off the scene were talking about everything that needs to be done. But the point of the matter is everything that I give, everything that you guys give, and everything that all of us give for constructive criticism is at the end of the day falling on deaf ears. And it's not because Pete's fault, and it's not because Rackzilla's fault. It's because whoever's in charge of doing all the major balancing to the game, whoever the hell it is, I'm guessing maybe it's Jim Brown, we have no contact with. we have no way of getting to, and we can't even take our constructive criticism to give it to him. And whoever's honestly running the show, to me, it seems like they don't give a shit. Because how the hell can they not know what's going on in their goddamn community? The only two people that I feel like really know what's going on are Pete and Rack, and they're doing what they can, but they're limited on their resources of what they can do and what they can implement from our constructive criticism. So it's just pissing me off.
Yeah.
No, I honestly wish, there was a better bridge between us and them. We could, communicate. Because one thing I did want to point out, which sucks, we're complaining a lot about, all these changes that, we would love to be
I don't
made.
think they're even watching.
I honestly hope that they are. But if you are watching, I mean, we complain about, about Gears 1 compared to Judgment, this and that, there, but in reality, it's true. The casuals and the competitive community both love it. The UK actually just filled up in 3 days. In 3 days, a whole 64-man Gears of War 1 tournament. And we honestly, for Big Bang tournaments and, whatever, we're struggling to get 30 teams. There has to be a reason for this. And, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We're talking about 256 people, come together for, 3 days for a game that's 7 years old. It honestly makes no sense at all. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd say, screw it. Let's just go back to Gears 1. But, I mean, I do have a little hope for Judgment, and I'm hoping that people like Pete Nubb and everybody else actually talks to us and get, everything straight. It's a shame,
It is a shame. Like I don't even know what's
I don't know.
said.
I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about like comparisons between Gears 1 and like other. It's the same way with like Halo, Call of Duty. Like I don't know, it's just nostalgia that makes those a lot more prominent. Again, out of the gate, I felt like the only issues that Gears Judgment had, and Epic did a fantastic job with at first, was the game balance. I felt like it was almost spot on where it needed to be. That's just how I felt about it. I know obviously there's a couple issues again that people had, and I mentioned those a second ago. Stim grenades, melee, content. Content is still a big question for me. But the stim grenade was fixed, and I guess
I haven't heard a
melee
complaint since.
is kind of fixed.
I mean, it's really just been about the rifles anymore.
Yeah.
And
The melee, for the most part, is fixed. The only thing that I still have an issue with for the melee somewhat is sometimes the range gets a little glitchy. Sometimes you get meleeed from a lot further away than in the range than I've ever, experienced before. So that's kind of annoying, but at least now the two-piece doesn't work. But there's a counter to that, what people are doing now. Okay, well, if I can't two-piece you and I can melee you and then you could shoot me right away, then you know what I'm going to do? Instead, I'm just going to shoot you first and then melee you and abuse my range to kill you right away anyway. And what people are calling it is a reverse two-piece. It works the same damn way. So we still have a problem. Is the problem slightly fixed?
What was really different? What was different in Gears 3 that made that not a factor?
Because when you ran around in Gears 3 and you meleeed, it wasn't like a two-piece. It wasn't an automatic. Like the second you meleeed, you can use your movement if you were really quick to try to get around when they were going to shoot and try to get that other shot. It wasn't an automatic full stun that was an easy kill. The only time it worked like a two-piece is when the player that you meleeed made either an incorrect misclick or something like that, and they accidentally, weren't able to capitalize when you went the two-piece. You know what I mean?
I'm more talking about this reverse two-piece that people are referring to. I already know the differences up front because there was the delay after you couldn't shoot or anything for like a brief second after you meleeed. So it was like, I don't want to do this because then I can't shoot. But then people could counter it easier. If you meleeed someone and they got stunned, it wasn't like it was on Gears 2. So with Gears Judgment, when you talk about a reverse two-piece, I'm saying what would have been different in Gears 3 if you hurt someone, ran up to them, then meleeed them, and then downed them. What was different?
You could still do the same thing, but the point of the matter is you kind of couldn't just one-shot them and then run in for the two-piece, and it was going to pretty much work every single time. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the difference. Like, in regards to Gears 3, you'd have to get a couple shots in and then move in and go for that melee kill. You know what I mean? If I'm losing a shotgun battle, I can't just go for one shot, run in really, really fast and try to get that melee off and, pretty much get the kill. You understand what I'm saying? Kind of?
Yeah.
With me on it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
That's the way it kind of plays out. Like, in this game, I could be getting outshot. So let's say someone's moving in to kill me. Let's say, I don't know, just whatever map I'm on. Doesn't matter the situation at all. But they're going in, they're trying to kill me. They get a couple shots on me, right? And I see an opening, I go for a shot and then go for the melee. That's all I gotta do, and I'll be able to. That's all I have to do.
Yeah.
And I will kill. I will kill them. So
And that's how it is. That's
great
how it
thing.
is. I mean, I don't really think we're going to be getting all these things changed, and I know there's been a lot of rant about the issues we're facing, but to be honest, like I'm still having fun. I'm enjoying this game. It's annoying. The rogue update is annoying, and the rifle update I don't think it was needed.
Not at all.
With that being said, like it's still playable with the settings, and it's still fun. I mean, I've had some really really entertaining scrims in the last 2 days. I'm telling you, this game is fun. Domination is awesome. I'm having a blast playing Domination. The game is meant for it, and it's very competitive. And actually had amazing execution games on Haven yesterday and today with my team that played out like some of the old school maps. And thinking about 4 Lancers running around right now, it kind of stinks. But there are those spots that the shotgun's important. And assuming things might settle down a little bit with the OP rifles, I have a feeling it'll get set back a little bit, or we come up with some decent settings with Lancer pickups. I'm still positive with this whole thing, and I just want to get that point across there that this is fun. And if you haven't tried scrimming yet, give Domination a big chance. And we got more maps on the way. Like it's still a blast. And I can go over some of Haven, which I have behind me, if we have time. But
Oh god, you got a whiteboard all
got a
set up
whiteboard?
right now?
well, I might make a separate video about it. I just want to make a point.
No,
Like,
we need
people
some
stop
Professor
complaining so much
Spawn.
about the sim grenade after last week. I mean, I don't know. It's true though, and I know they patched it too, so that's good. But,
Yeah.
It's
I don't
actually patched.
Yeah,
What
apparently
changed
they
it?
I
looked
don't
into
know
this
what was
stem,
changed.
and apparently Pete also, this was after I went on my whole rant Monday when Skylar showed me those numbers, apparently also lowered the stun time on a smoke grenade.
Not by
No. Smoke grenades. My biggest issues is smoke grenades. Like that's the one thing I hate
They
the most
suck.
about Gears of War. I was playing today, and the dude threw a smoke grenade at me like it was a weapon. I was standing. He ran in for the one shot. It's dumb. I just don't feel like the smoke should stun. Period. If somebody threw a smoke at me in real life, I'm not gonna go and walk away without shooting.
The-
I'm
yeah.
gonna smack somebody.
Well, no, let's say
I
the
just
best
feel like
thing.
they should just really, really, really take it out. Like, please.
Yeah.
Like, I kiss you in the face, Epic. Like, one thing for me.
No, the best thing is that you get stunned from a smoke, but not all these explosions going off. Like, why am I
Thank you.
stunned from a smoke, which is like a flash smoke, because it's like a combo of flashbang and a smoke? Why am I getting stunned from that,
And
but not
Sarah,
grenade
whereas
explosions and
we,
all this crap blowing up, like and everything? I get
we all
stunned
have
from
asthma
that.
problems. I guess.
the whole point of a smoke grenade is to use it to either cover your pushes, so to cover areas on the map, using the smoke so that people cannot see you and they cannot spot you, so you get to certain areas of the map, or from blocking out the team's point of view on the your opposition, so that you could block them, maybe go for a power weapon pickup, or maybe go for some type of map control. And there's always, like we said on that previous active reloads, when you run through the smoke, there's a risk and there's a reward. The risk is that you run through, and when you run through, two people at the end of that smoke, when you finally can see, might be saying there were 2 Lancers and you might get absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
Or you might run through that smoke and that guy's got his pants down, he's sitting on cover aiming at somebody else, and you just got the easiest kill of your life. Risk and reward.
Let's
There's
not
two
mention they
different
made the
scenarios.
smokes even less useless because they made it so you just hit down, or in Gears 3 you hit LB and you see through the smoke. So it's like they made the smokes
Right.
even more useless on their own, so then they made them stun. Well, they did that in GOW too, but it's like they made it so you could see through, and then they stun now, so it's like they're not really smokes because I just hit a
What's the
magic
point
button.
of having them, period? Just to stun people? If they want to stun people, they should just create a smoke without a stun and to just release like a flashbang patch. Where you just
Flashbang?
throw flashbangs.
Yeah, I said
Which
that if they
did that, I
wanted one,
still
they
think
should have
it'd
made
be
one.
Stupid, because it shouldn't be in Gears of War. But
What's wrong
still,
with a flashbang, man?
I like flashbangs.
flashbangs are kind of cool. I won't even lie. I like them in Call of Duty.
What's,
Nah.
what's wrong with a flashbang?
It's just the whole.
I'm gonna tell you this. I personally don't like the concept that when I'm fighting someone and I'm winning my fight, let's say it's a 1v1, and I used my smoke previously in the beginning of the map, maybe for map control for whatever reason, and this guy pocketed his smoke, all he's got to do is, once I'm about to win, take his smoke, throw it at my feet. I could barely move. I can only hit covers. So if I get caught in the open and this happens, I have nowhere to go and I am dead against a good player. And that's all he's got to do. Doesn't have to outgun me. take his smoke, stun me, and could kill me. And yeah, people are saying that they fixed it. Yeah, whoopity doo. But it's not that much cut down
It's a
on
power
regards to the
weapon
stuns.
still.
It's still used, for an offensive push in regards to take me out. And that's the reason why I didn't play Gears 2 is because I hated the fact that I would get smoked, be sitting on a map
Wiggling on
like
the ground.
Blood Drive, laying on the ground doing the birdie, and I can't do a goddamn thing.
No,
Dude,
honestly,
I'm so mad.
the moment I brought Gears of War 2 and somebody threw a smoke grenade and I flew off the map just flying like like an eagle or whatnot, I traded in my game for a 7-Eleven Slurpee. Like I just feel like they should just keep it, Gal 1-ish. A smoke is a smoke. There you go. That's simple.
It shouldn't be something other than what it is. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And to go back on Immortals topic, I know that I am bitching a shitload today, but that's because I want to get everything across. I think all of us want to get everything across into with the time frame we have, what we need to make this game better. I want to make it completely clear that I do like the game and I do have fun playing ranked, but if we don't get these points across to Epic and they don't start working with us, we are not going to see the potential to where this game can actually go. And that's what's so frustrating is that we're all trying to give criticism. And I want to make it clear, the people that I do know at Epic, I love them. I think Pete, Rack, iFlack, all of them are absolutely awesome. But that's the only people I know from the organization. I don't know who runs everything at the top, and I have no idea how to get in contact with them to help them and give them constructive criticism with evidence, of course, not just straight up bitching, but to get the game to where it needs to be. I don't know if any of us do, other than the 3 people I mentioned. Is there anybody else that we even have contact with right now to help them?
I don't have contact with anyone outside of Pete, Rack, Flack. I mean, I can contact some other people, but it's not the people that I think would be in there, talking about stuff. And I mean, you basically hit it right on the head. I think, and I just said this a little bit ago, the difference between at least my criticism for them and a lot of other criticism is that I don't feel like I'm sitting there trying to dog on Epic. I just feel like, hey, we love the game. We want to see it do well. This is what needs to happen. And so, I mean, the only issues I have were patch notes. It's just like, it's such a minor thing, but it's an industry standard, at least I think, at this point in time. And Epic has been in it too long. The matchmaking and to a lesser degree, the playlist separation. And I saw someone in chat say that they feel like by me saying that there needs to be a team and a solo, that's separating it even further. I think he's kind of misinterpreting what I mean by that. But the other thing is like, it's not really the buffs to the rifles. It's just like the way they went about doing it. Like, are they in game actually playing? Do they understand that this is what the community has been doing for 7 years, or are they just looking at statistics? So
I think it's choice number 2. I think they're looking only at statistics. I think the people that are at the top don't play the game nearly as much as they probably should to get a good perspective on what's going on and what needs to be done. And since I don't think they're putting in the time, the biggest problem is that they're not in negotiations with their community and they're not constantly looking at evidence to improve their game and get it to where its full potential could possibly be. And we have a few people that are willing to help us and talk to us and listen to our criticism. But at the end of the day, our criticism is falling for the most part on deaf ears because it's not going to get to the people that we need it to get to because we don't have a good enough relationship with them.
And I just don't think, and this is just me just talking about the competitive community, I don't feel like the value of the Gears of War competitive community is enough for Epic to say we're going to invest man hours into making whatever patch necessary that needs to happen. That's just how I generally feel based off of what we've seen. So I don't know.
They could
I
still
mean, if Epic only knew, because honestly, there are people behind the scenes that's actually working really hard to bring leagues and major events for Gears of War. And what they don't know is, for instance, MLG capped Gears of War. MLG capped it. Gears of War was actually huge, and we even had TV spots for WCG and other stations. It's like, come on. But if Gears of War actually made these changes that we're actually talking
2000? Are you talking 2008 huge, or are you talking 2013?
Gears of War 2 was actually pretty big too. Even though I didn't like it, I thought Gears of War 2 was big.
That skydive fast like that just.
It skydived ridiculously, and they have to look at that too. But this game actually does have a lot of potential, and there's people like me, Barbosa, I'm trying to start a game league. Barbosa is actually doing his thing with Hyfest or whatnot. Who can't say that Gears of War isn't big? I think that Epic, needs to look at their fan base, their community, and, what will it hurt with them, to make this small change?
Behind the scenes, there's
So
a
it's
lot
just
of
man
us.
hours, man. Are the man hours worth it, or are they invested on
Yeah, I mean,
in
it costs
Fortnite?
money, so.
Are they trying to, is it worth, some programmers cost like 85. I don't even know how much at Epic. I'm gonna say in the triple figures. Maybe some of their programmers are. Is it worth their time to work on a small patch that probably wouldn't net them that much money?
Right.
Or are they going to
you know,
work on are they going to make decisions to say, hey, this guy would be better on Fortnite, or this guy would be better doing this other project that we're
Yeah.
working on, or this guy would
Yeah.
be better on the Unreal Engine, which is making their that's what's making their coin.
That's what's making it
Yeah.
money.
Oh yeah, it
So-
is. They have to
You
look
know
at
what I
other
mean?
developers.
Cars.
If Epic doesn't want to pay for updates, and they don't want to take man hours,
Maybe we can Kickstarter it.
what's
Hey,
Nah.
I mean,
Maybe
I've
they
been-
just hire
Kickstarter-
us to
every
go
night
over
I'm
there.
like,
No,
damn it, I
I'm
really want to
saying-
do a Kickstarter.
a Kickstarter
Been waiting
for
for the right
Epic
idea.
to release patches.
That's if they would even listen to us.
How about we just get Juju to
Hey,
put
I'm
us
just throwing
in
stuff out
together?
there.
No,
I'll
it makes
chip- I'll
sense
chip
because
in.
then how can they complain about having
I
to
endorse.
invest the time and money to the game if we're providing the money?
We don't
So
even have money for our own events.
here's my point.
there's people out there.
If Epic doesn't want to invest time into updates after the game comes out and man hours into editing their game, then why the fuck don't they, before the game comes out, abuse us, all the league organizers, and everyone else, whether casual or competitive? I don't care. Get a mix of everybody so that we have not a biased opinion. But why don't we do that before the game comes out? So when it comes out, they don't have to spend money on updates and they don't have to do all these things that aren't necessary because they went and they used us to our full potential and everyone else so that their game was fully tested 2 or 3 times over certain courses of time properly. So when the game comes out, it's actually most of these precautions are already taken care of and they don't need so many contingency plans and small little ninja updates to try to make people feel like they're actually trying to do something.
So
That
a
make
beta.
sense? Huh?
So a beta.
Well,
That's
that's
like Gears of
Beta,
War 3.
Even if-
Oh man, that would be fantastic.
the-
More people in the gaming industry should do betas. Oh wait, they do.
It just we don't have one. We didn't have a beta with Gao J. We had-
Exactly.
it was
This is
Gao
a beta.
2, but here's the thing: we had a beta with Gao 3, but who went back that they could abuse from the community to test after the beta to see if the changes that they were making were good? Were they fixing things that didn't need to be fixed? Were they going and doing certain things that should be done? Who was giving them the course of direction to help them out, to get them in the right situation so that they can understand multiple perspectives and not only just their own? No one was there to help them to do that. It sucks because that would
I
have
think
fixed so
they
many
probably
problems.
had more people behind the scenes, like doing like closed event like playtests with like people from I don't know some university that they had probably tested. That would be like their casual crowd. They probably had some people in North Carolina like, hey, we had this school come over, a couple students. Why don't you guys test our game? Leave us some feedback. And then they went to the university and probably said, hey. And I'm just saying, I don't know if they did this, but this is what other studios do. So I mean, they probably did that to some degree. I still think the proper way, and it's just not going to happen on console as much as I would love it to, would just have been really, release a beta beforehand. And I saw people, and even Vietnam said it, feel like this is a beta. And I could maybe, I don't know. Maybe they have more plans for Gears of War in the future, but
One can hope.
But
I
even if
don't-
they
I have
have,
no idea.
even if they have more plans, if we don't start doing, some of the things that we're talking about right now, and they don't start doing that with us, how are we going to avoid the previous problems that we had in Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War Judgment on launch? How are we going to make the game better so that before it comes out, so that when it comes out and after they make changes before it comes out, it's a good game out of the box, and so many situations
beta.
that we could have avoided are avoided. Yeah, it
It's
is
a
a
beta.
beta. This game
That's
is
a-
a beta.
I mean, I don't know if it's this game, but I mean, the answer to your question is a beta.
Yeah, and we need that, and we need them to actually start coordinating with us. And
We
it's
do.
not happening right now.
I mean, we can only preach it so many times till they finally listen. I mean, we've seen some things like they're taking steps. That random stream they did last week where Pete and Rack, which I've never seen them do before, all of a sudden they're just streaming. Epic streaming. Like, all of a sudden they're streaming them playing and talking to people. I mean, that's a step in the right direction, but you got to keep doing it. Jim Brown posting in the forums, talking about it, but he didn't really give details. It was just kind of like, hey, we completely fucked with your game. My bad.
Did the
That's
stream
basically
go
what
down?
it was.
Did the
Huh?
stream go down?
The stream went down, man.
I still have it up on my screen. It's
No, it
working
didn't.
just fine.
Yeah,
I got
it.
everything.
I'm still
right
streaming.
here.
Yeah.
I'm
It went-
watching it.
I see it's live. It went black
It went
for
all black, everything.
Yeah, no,
all
I see
black,
see all your
everything.
faces and everything right
It's
now.
good.
On my,
It's
it
up.
says live, but
Yeah, people
Maybe
probably
it's
just got to
less.
refresh. But I mean, anyway, it's what was it? It's 10:20 right now. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. I don't know if you guys want to take some questions from the chat, Twitter, and all
Yeah,
that.
I'd like to run down some of the things that are happening as far as tournaments.
Oh yeah, that too.
You
That
know.
too. Yeah.
I'd like to talk about some of the exciting things coming up. So here's a double-edged sword. We got a tournament on Friday. Game battles, MLG, 4v4, execution kickoff. Couldn't tell you what the settings are though.
That's up
They
to
don't
us, I
have-
think.
they're not announced yet.
that sounds
Gotta
fantastic.
guess.
We're not sure what the rules are, and
Could somebody
Killer
link it in the
KC
chat?
was actually looking for some input from the community, which is awesome. Trying to get some of our insight. We haven't really had too much time to mess around with execution, and my team personally, we've been testing NJ Halo settings that were created by Ments. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Ments because I actually like them. They're pretty good, but the some of the issues that I'll have, and I can tell you guys the rules because it's pretty important. But the main topic for me is that a team can have 2 Lancers and 2 Nashers. Maximum of 2 Lancers. So your team could have up to 4 Nashers if you want. Or your team can have maximum of 2 Lancers. So here's the thing with that. One, online, it's really hard to enforce something like that because I mean, you can just it becomes a he said she said sort of thing. The problem is, Excel, kill me and spawn. All right, here I go. I just instantly respawned on domination. Pick up my Lancer. Now we're running with 3. So there's that, and that's a problem to me too because it doesn't really do anything. So how do you avoid that? Well, if we went that direction, maybe we say friendly fire off. So now we're doing all these things that are, not really putting the game where we want to be put. So the execution settings are kind of in the air right now. But the good news is, there's tournament Friday. Teams are signing up. It's on Game Battles, and hopefully the settings will be set the next day, tomorrow. Right? That'd be good if we know by tomorrow. The other event, I'll just run through the 3 events that I'm aware of right now, and then we can talk about settings if you guys like. Saturday, there is a 2v2 tournament in New Jersey. I mentioned it before. It's in Clementon, South Jersey. Apparently, you have to be 21 and up to attend. It's at a bar. It's at a pub. It's the first time they're running an event. I didn't tell you that this is going to be some awesome, amazing thing. But if you're looking to attend NJ Halo the next week, I mean, it's going to be, get some land practice in for that. I know Ments and Bigfoot, I believe, are going to attend. Kenny and I plan to go, see what's up, see how the game plays out, learn a few things about how land's going to be in terms of character selections, and we know the updates are going to be there. So just be more doing some homework this weekend. So if anybody's interested, I can give you that flyer. Hit me up on Twitter. The last event I wanted to touch base on was NJ Halo the following Saturday. KOTCNation.com. You guys are very familiar. Monthly lands. It's going to be the first big Gears of War Judgment LAN event. Really excited for, and I'll post those settings these are the current settings right now in the chat. I'm not sure if links are enabled or not. Yeah. So those are the current settings by Ments. In case you guys were wondering, that's what my team has been scrimming this week. There's a lot of conversation that can come from that list after playing for a few days. But you guys have any questions, immediate questions from anything I just said?
No, I understand everything in regard. You pretty much mentioned all the major Gal J tournaments that are going on right now. I know, obviously, we're not trying to talk about Gal 1, but just a small shout out to the European community. I mean, they're running a Gal 1 tournament right now that you can go online to sign up for on galforum.net. And there's actually 63 teams already signed up for it. So if you want to get on it and go play on it, the Europeans are doing that right now because they don't know what's going on in regards to settings and stuff because we don't have that finalized yet. So their leagues are waiting. EGL 9 just happened. I didn't get to watch it, so I didn't get to see how successful it was. Did you watch it? How did you know the success rate of it? Viewers, everything else?
I mean, viewers kind of sucked. I mean, it felt like, they just started throwing it out, advertising during the day of the tournament. But I mean, when I saw it was like 20 viewers, the gameplay, I mean, there was, some shining moments here and there. But I mean, it was kind of slow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I would assume that because of the way the game plays right now, the metagame and execution is pretty damn awful because of the way everything's playing out the gate right now, and due to all the problems we have with weapon balancing and the problems we have for the maps being designed for FFA and not the game types that we're trying to push. Obviously, FFA is great and all. If you want to go play by yourself and you don't want to play with a team in Gears of War Judgment, you can go play at FFA tournaments and have a pretty damn good time. But in regards of domination, execution, and TDM, just to go right back to it real quick, in order to make these things work for competitive, we are very limited on contact, as Arctic has mentioned many times before. We are trying to get 6 game types. As of right now, the only 2 that work for execution are Haven and Streets, with some swaps that are needed. Not going to go into the whole thing with it. And then in regards to domination maps, we have Library, Streets, and we have Haven, which all can work for domination with some small swaps. And then in regards to the last map, nothing else works for domination or execution. So at the moment, we're stuck with possibly having to use a TDM and hoping that these new game types that come out with DLC number 2 will fix the issues we have. Maybe we get a bomb game type or something else that we can play with.
Yeah,
But
let's not talk about that too much right now, though, because we already covered it, and it's starting to run late right now.
no, I just want to state that quickly. That's all.
No, yeah, it's fine. Guys, if you have any questions, tweet them at the Active Reload Twitter right now. Post them in the chat. If we see any good ones, we'll pick them. We also have giveaways to give out. You have to be following the stream to win. That's how it works. I hit the roll of the dice, and somebody wins. If you're not following, you can't win. So please hit that follow button if you want to win a giveaway from Control Freak or Squid Grip. Do that right now.
I'm looking in the chat.
One thing I did want to throw out, I actually talked to the UK community about possibly throwing, a little throwback 4v4, Gal 1 tournament as well. I went ahead and I did it myself. I just put up a sign-ups page. If you see it and you're interested in Gal 1, go ahead and enter it. In terms of prizes, I'll definitely see what I can put together for that. We'll just see how, it honestly turns out. If we can get, 30 teams or more, if we could hit 64, that'd be amazing. Honestly, it would be amazing. And I would definitely make sure to see what I can get for prizes for you guys. So go ahead and check that out and, show it to friends. Yeah.
Yep. If you're trying to go an old school way for maybe a throwback. But in regards to the game currently, as everyone's typing in their questions, what we need is we need an update. We need more content, and we need to hope that one of these game types that we get is usable. Because if it's not, we are stuck with what we have right now in regards of game types. And in regards to using default, we can't do it because we need swaps because the game was designed for FFA. So we need these things to happen. And we do need, I think, an update with a small patch on certain things in the game. But I guess we're not going over that today, so I'll save that for next time.
Someone said what happened to Capital, and Rack actually responded to someone that asked me the question and him. The future free map is still coming, just not at the same time as Haven. That is the answer to that question. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't like. Maybe they're making changes to it. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hoovers, you asked about execution maps and our Gears 1 through 3 execution maps being ported over to Gears Judgment. I think that's a waste of time, to be honest. I mean, it could work for execution, yeah, that's sure, but I just feel like fresh maps would be better than rehash stuff. I don't like rehash content. I've never been a fan of it.
Yeah, but personally, I'd rather have something rather than nothing. If they can give us something now and it just involves porting a few old maps that work, that work, do that. I'm down with that. Don't change them like you've done in the past and then make them not as good as they were.
I'm trying to...
You want to take that one?
What one?
What's your sensitivity?
So, Lee Mambas asked where is Hype 3 going to be in regards to that. We can't announce it yet. It's pretty much just a venue has been picked out and a date. Nothing's final though. But
since I'm one of the main 3 people that's working on Hype right now and doing all the work that we need to do behind the scenes. All I will tell you guys in the meantime is we have a venue. We have much more support than we've ever had before. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying that to lead you on. I'm being completely honest. So in regards to that, there is a lot of potential. So it's going to be a very, very good event. It's going to be a good time. You can see it. Barbosa stated this on Twitter, so I'll just recap what he said. You could look at it sometime between the middle of the summer. That's what you could look towards. So in regards to that, it's going to be pretty damn awesome. But other than that, I can't really say much at this time. So that's pretty much it. So I know it sucks. I can't give you a lot of information, but I'd rather just tell you that there is something going on than not tell you anything at all. So I know that sucks. But that's what I can say for the meantime.
Yeah, he also asked, is it going to be invite only? No idea, but I doubt it. I don't think it would be invite only from the looks of it, but I can't confirm that. No, it can't really be confirmed yet because the venue and all that isn't set in stone. So that's thinking way too ahead right now.
I don't want to answer that question because I'll probably get in trouble. But in regards to that question, all I will say is a lot of situations that were issues with Hype before, you'll be seeing those go away. So that's all I could say, really, at this time, without getting in trouble, at least.
Fair enough.
That's not a question. Getting a lot of troll questions.
Yeah.
McCain, I think that's how you say it, asked, what are your wish lists for upcoming game types? Bomb game type, obviously. I would love to see if they could make a capture the flag work, but I doubt that's even in the works. So they tried that once with Meat Flag, and it was just awful. It was just terrible. Typical traditional capture the flag I would love, but I doubt that's happening.
Zombies?
Zombies? No.
Kind
We
of
don't
in the
need
pop culture realm right now. I think it would work.
Will players be banned because of the fighting? Looks bad for us.
I will.
What fighting is he
Okay,
referring
okay,
to? The
okay.
players?
I'll say
The
I'll say-
melees in the game.
No. They're talking about what happened at Hype LB. Hype LB was a small thing put together last minute, just to basically satisfy the Gears of War 3 community. In regards to that, all I will say is you will see a new code of conduct, a way that players are going to have to compose themselves. You're going to see different types of rules, and you're going to be punished in different ways for doing different things. So there will be different levels of punishment. I will tell you this right now. Fighting under no circumstances will not be tolerated under any circumstances. I don't care what the reason is. You're all grown-ass men. You're supposed to act like it. Don't go and instigate a fight. And if someone instigates a fight with you, then be the bigger man and just don't let that happen, because there's no reason for fighting over a video game. I don't care what's said. There will also be new code of conduct on the way you talk. So there will be things that you could say, and there will be things that you cannot say. So that's all I will tell you about it for now. So expect all the things that there was issues with before, expect it to be fixed.
I think
That's-
Stylus' trash talk would be okay. Blaze knows it. I saw him
What's
in
up?
there. It's
What's
a joke
up?
for Blaze. It's a joke for Blaze. I don't know.
I saw a question that I did want to answer. Somebody said, why does Gears of War have to be an esport? Why can't it just be a regular game? Personally, just speaking for myself, I said in my video as well, all of us, we've played games mostly our whole lives, you know what I'm saying? Gears of War was really that game, that took us to that level. Gears of War really started this community, this competitive community. We've all traveled to events. I traveled with, Mortal Spawn, Arctic Fatal Strike, Kenny, for a year and a half, and did things that, people would never dream of doing. I mean, Gears of War, like, honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, it's my heart, And one thing I do wish, is for you guys to have that opportunity to go out there, play for some money, travel the country, This game is actually pretty, good competitively, and we just really hope that this game can stay on that level.
I actually have a different feeling in terms of esport. I feel like an esport at this point.
I hate that word.
I hate the word itself, but like, I don't think Gears of War currently, based on the limitations of being on Xbox, how frequently Epic can push out updates, will ever be as big as like a League of Legends or StarCraft or anything like that, or even Call of Duty at this point. I still feel like the community itself can have competitive events and there's nothing wrong with that if the community wants to do that. I mean, that's how it is in every single gaming community. You have people. I mean, there's people that play Pokemon tournaments, for heaven's sake. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you do whatever you want to do as long as the community can support, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, there's competition in anything. And in terms of why it's important to us, it kind of took it seriously and competitive as soon as I got into Gears personally. When the game came out, kind of jumped right into competing and wanting to be the best and striving for that. So this community was built around that, and we're very passionate about Gears. So esports, it's definitely not there, but the competitive community is still here, and we're doing everything we can to keep that fire going.
The whole point of us trying to promote this community isn't because we believe like, oh, well, I'm a competitive player that makes me better than everyone else. I've already won a couple Gal J tournaments, and when I went to PAX East, I eliminated some pretty damn good players, and then I got to the finals in the free-for-all and played this rank kid. His name was Gibbo's 1v1, and he mopped the floor with me. I didn't know him at all. He was a guy who just played ranked, and when he beat me, instead of being a sore loser, I walked up to him and I was like, dude, you're mad good. Congratulations. Shook his hand, and that's it. Because you want people like that to join the community. You want them to be able to have the chance to compete. 2 days later, he hits me up, and he's like, yeah, I had a great time at the tournament. You know any locals going on? And now he wants to go to NJ Halo. Like, the opportunity is there if you want to have it. You don't have to play competitive just because we choose to. But the whole point is that we're supposed to give you that outlet and help Epic let that outlet be there for you so we can advertise our own game. So if you do want to compete, the opportunity is there for you. If you don't want to compete and you want to go play ranked, then go do what you like to do. No one's going to bash you for it. It's no big deal. Just have a great time and go play and enjoy yourself if that's what you want to play. You want to play campaign? That's why it's there. Go play it. There's no, issue in regards to, oh, there's a competitive community. They think they're better than everyone else. And there's a casual community. And, they're the big market, so we have to contribute to them. We have to contribute to everyone. Yes, there is a competitive and a casual community, but that doesn't mean we have to be separated. Guess what? When we all play ranked, it doesn't matter what the hell we come from or what the hell we like to do in our free time. The rank system needs to be improved so it has higher incentives so that people that are of new players can match up against new players, and people who are a little bit old school competitive, whether you're MLG or whether you're just a good ass ranked player, you guys can go play something more competitive and have higher skilled people to play against so you can get what you want and the other people can get what they want. And that's all it is. There's no reason in segregating both communities just because we like to do different things in our free time. At the end of the day, we're all Gears players anyway. So it doesn't make any sense to me why people do that.
Yeah, if you guys have any more questions you want to pick up right now, or I'm about to just do this giveaway and we can start to wrap it up.
I don't see anything that's not a troll question, to be honest.
Yeah, there are a lot of trolls right now today.
All right, let me hit the roll the dice real quick, see who wins. Chainsaw for the win TV. You have won your choice between Control Freak or Squid Grip. Just hit me up in a message on here, message Active Reload, and let me know which one you would like. Let's do one more. No, you're not following. You lost.
Can I win a
Did you guys
Squid
see
Grip?
Trap Stars? Did you guys see Trap Stars' question in the chat?
What was it?
Trap Stars' statement he made, I'll just read it off, see if you guys got any comments for it. I thought it was pretty productive. He said, surely waiting for DLC isn't really a viable option when they've already released the season pass and content is already locked on the disc. He says, where do you see the community going if the DLC everyone is waiting for doesn't come or isn't effective or doesn't improve the competitive scene? Then what do we do?
Didn't I just talk about that right before we got on?
I
Yeah.
think
That's
we did.
funny.
That's literally word for word the question he asked.
We're gonna play competitive checkers at that point.
I mean, the point. I think the point is Trap is that we need an update to make this game a little bit more consistent, to make this little game feel a little bit more like Gears of War is supposed to feel, and hopefully Epic listens to our constructive criticism from this episode, and hopefully we can help put together like a Google Doc or something from multiple people and multiple people that are running leagues to give to them, so that hopefully we get a pretty balanced game. We definitely need an update, that's for sure. And certain things such as rifles, smoke grenade stuns, and maybe slightly looking more into the melee need to be adjusted. Other than that, everything else in the game for the most part is operating pretty damn well out of the box. It's better than I expected. but the limited content, which is completely restricting competitive play and ranked play, the no incentive in ranked, and the problems that I just mentioned, the other problems are the major issues right now, and that's what we need to work on. Hopefully, Epic listens, and hopefully they help us out because we're trying to help them out.
Yeah, let's not beat a dead horse with that though. I mean, we've said it so many times already. I mean,
I'm done.
It is what it is. Congrats, Brandon Flanks. You've won your choice between Squid Grips or Control Freak. Hit me up with which one you would like, and then I'll send it out to you. Any other questions you guys see, or is that it? You pretty much want to wrap it up, do your sign-offs, all that fun stuff?
Sure, I'm good.
Someone asked, do we think that Overrun would be a competitive game type? And then I'm gonna point him out as a player that doesn't like it. But if it had spectator mode, and the issue that I said even before I think anyone else got to play Overrun or the vast majority got to, is that if you are a diehard Gears player and you've been used to the competitive scene for the last 5, 6, 7 years, you're not going to be like, Overrun is the shit, and let me hop on that. I think some people will. A lot of players won't. And even if it had a spectator mode, I don't think people would jump ship. They rather see execution than Overrun. So that's my answer to it.
It's the traditional multiplayer style of play that people are used to, and also keep in mind running tournaments for Overrun need to be 5v5. So technically we need, 6 setups counting casters? So money-wise, it's going to be more expensive to run Overrun in reality.
Yeah, it just doesn't work right now. It's just how it is.
No.
It's a cool idea. I like it. I have fun on it. But right now, A, it's not balanced, and B, we can't even try it. So doesn't even matter.
All right, that's the only one I want to hit.
Oh, cool.
All right. If that's it, you guys want to start doing your shout-outs? Going a little bit of circle here. Rob, you can go.
Yeah, I'll go first, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Love talking with all of you. I had a giveaway earlier today. If you retweeted my post, I have a Jungle Tide code to give out. So there was 19 of you. Appreciate it. I did a random number generator. The winner was Evil Monkey, a.k.a. Nielsen Nez. Congratulations. I'll DM you that code. Thank you guys for watching. Follow this stream every Wednesday at 9. Shout out to Team Raw Talent. I love playing with you guys. You can watch me stream, and I know some people were wanting to watch my breakdown of Haven behind me. Gave you teased the whiteboard last week. I'll post a video on YouTube this week. We didn't have enough time today, but I'll get that out there, so you can check my channel at youtube.com/ImmortalSpawn. Thanks, guys. Good luck gaming this week, and look forward to talking to you again.
I guess I'll go next. My first shout out, although I've been complaining about some things with Epic today, is going to go to the people at Epic that have been going pretty awesome with helping me out. I don't know who knows, but on Facebook the other day, for the first time ever, Epic tweeted a stream out of an individual Gears player, and it was me. It was really awesome. They gave me a crap load of love and support after me meeting them at PAX and us getting on the same page as what needs to be done for streams to be a little bit more friendly and stuff like that. So they gave me a huge shout out on Facebook. I had like 600 likes. I had over 400 concurrent in my stream for 6 hours straight. It was pretty damn awesome, just for streaming ranked, playing with viewers, and just having a good time. So I just want to give a shout out to the people from Epic that were showing me a lot of love and support, and they hooked me up with a lot of giveaways that I can give away to people, which was really awesome. So thank you to the people from Epic that were helping out. So thank you for that. In regards to everything else, big shout out to all the tournament organizers that have been going really hard with working with myself and everyone else from Hypefest Station to get everyone's settings, ready. Big shout out to everyone who's been doing all their YouTube content. A lot of you have been going by what we said you've been putting out, so it's been great. Keep putting out that content so we can review it and get you some good settings and help find out what's balanced for the game, what's not balanced for the game, so we can get things going. And big shout out to the community and you guys for having me here. So I just appreciate it big time. And that's pretty much all I've got to say for now. And Hype, Barbosa, Murray, and the guys I'm working with, and all the sponsors. That's it.
I'm gonna give a shout out to everyone in the stream. I love being on the show. Love talking Gears, and Fatal pretty much hit it on the head. As much criticism as we give Epic, I think everyone there understands that we love the game, want it to do well, and I hope all of you in the stream understand that as well. And the type of feedback that we are giving is it tries to remain constructive. Obviously, shout out to my sponsor and my team sponsor, Razer. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, here we go. The face. Oh no,
There's
the controller box is
It's
coming.
the hate. The hat.
The hate.
No. And I think there was a guy in chat. I think his name was Paposh. Paposh24. Shout out to you for. Oh, it's Stoddy and everyone else that wants a shout out.
Don't forget the wingman guy with the great constructive criticism.
Hoovers? Yeah. That was who suggested that wingman thing. It's not a bad idea. Excellent idea, actually. But yeah, I enjoy being on the show.
And go ahead, Venom, you next.
All right, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Number one, you're all beautiful. I love you guys. If I could, I kiss you all on the face. I want to give a shout out to my Call of Duty team. You know, there's a whole bunch of noobs like Deacon. I know you're watching. I love you. You suck. I want to give a shout out, you know, my old teammates, Mortal Spawn and Cream. I love you guys. I missed you all. And that's basically it. And the last one, Jasmine, I love you. I want to have your babies. Yeah, that's all for me.
Yeah, just big shout out to Squid Grip and Control Freak for giving me stuff to give away and supporting the show. Obviously, huge shout out to all you guys tonight. We hit 700. I don't think it's been like that since like towards the end of the Gears 3 show. So that's pretty sweet. I think last week it was around like 3 to 4, so 700, that was massive. Thanks so much for tuning in. Just thanks for everybody showing up. Tonight was a great episode. We were really trying to point out what was wrong with the game because we've been really praising the game up till now. We've been really positive about it, but that damn stealth update, I mean, that was just kind of the last straw with things they've been doing. And it really ticked me off.
Kenny,
Yeah.
one of the things that we get a lot of flack for is that people feel like we're overly praising the game.
Yep.
And I think it's just like the balance of this is just so good compared to what we've had in the past, and then they just go and do what they did. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what really pissed me off. I mean, we were really happy about the game out the box, so there really wasn't much to hate on. But tonight we had more to talk about what's wrong with the game, what needs to be done than we usually did. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you next week, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, Active Reload. Peace out, everyone.
Good job, all.